Bob, thanks for giving me the opportunity to talk here on what is quite a big event for you. I'm Stephen Speirs. I'm a senior manager in Cisco. I work in our what's called the customer experience organisation. We are essentially the group that goes around and builds, designs and builds networks using our technology, and we work with service providers across the world. What I'd like to do is give a little bit of a journey in terms of where we started with Strathclyde and where we've got to, and then talk about the 4G, 5G core that we've put into Strathclyde recently, and talk a little bit about what that can do for Cisco and the heritage of that core network as well. So actually, this work that we do with Strathclyde actually started about 2017, I think it was, and a bunch of us gathered up in Inverness that EE and the Scottish Futures Trust had pulled together. And this picture up here on the left-hand side kind of really kicks this off in my mind. There's a lot of big companies there: Intel, Facebook, Google, BT, Parallel Wireless, and others. And I think, to be fair, a few of them kind of melted away, and Cisco and Strathclyde kind of got together, and we worked on a proposal when the 5G DCMS trials come out. We worked on a proposal for the UK funding, or co-funding as it were. And we went down to, a few of us there went down to London to present to DCMS, and lo and behold, out of like 30 entries, I think we were one of the 6 winners. And I know Cisco put in 4 projects at that point, and 5G Rural First, as we called it, was the one selected for Cisco. So we've invested since then in 3 projects with Strathclyde: 5G Rural First, 5G Rail Next, and 5G New Thinking, which David Crawford I know is going to talk about soon. And really, from a Cisco point of view, what we really like is the focus of Strathclyde on trying to, they do understand that actually the industrial partners have got to get something out of these projects. And I think the department that Bob runs, electrical and electronic engineering, really do get the mantra. They exemplify the mantra of Strathclyde as being the place of useful learning, and I always reflect on that when we work with them. And we've made headlines across the world. 5G Rural First was the number one site for Google, on Google, for rural 5G for a long time. And we even took it to one of Cisco's biggest events, which is the Mobile World Congress in Barcelona about 2 years ago, before all this COVID nonsense. Unfortunately, we put a cow on the front of the Cisco stand. This was right at the front of our presence with the team from 5G Rural First. We had a large partner ecosystem that helped deliver that, about 30 companies, and it wouldn't have happened, I think, without both. My personal highlights was actually visiting the Orkney, where we did 5G Rural First, and some of the amazing use cases we brought to light, including, for example, bringing connectivity to a salmon farm with IoT services, using amazing radio technology that Strathclyde put together across Orkney for this use case and a number of other use cases, including connected tourism and so on. Really quite exciting stuff, and very relevant to Scotland, where some of the industries like salmon farming have had real connectivity challenges. Fast forward to today, and what we've done over the last few months, delayed a little bit by COVID, I think it has fair to be said, as we've been putting in place Strathclyde's own mobile core that they can use in their various projects. This is an industrial strength core. This is the same, the essence of this core is exactly the same that's running in T-Mobile in the USA, which is the biggest mobile network in the world. Obviously, the Strathclyde version is very much a scaled down version of it, but it's still a very big and beefy project platform, rather, that will allow Strathclyde to run multiple different independent projects. It does support 4G, 5G technologies, 4G, 5G radios. It uses, a lot of people get kind of wound up with what's 5G, what's 4G. Actually, I think some of the more important technologies are technologies that we've implemented in both 4G and 5G, what we call CUPs, or control user plane separation, and in particular something called remote CUPs, which I'll talk about in a slide or two. And really, these technologies are what are going to enable Strathclyde to run multiple independent, different kinds of projects in connectivity constrained areas, in putting high capacity processing on site with some of their use cases to allow high performance, low latency use cases. And this architectural construct is absolutely fundamental to high performance in 4G and also in 5G. We've actually backported what we've done from 5G into 4G for this. And this is the platform that we've put into Strathclyde. It's got a rich range of 2G and 4G and 5G features. Each one of these user planes can run. Each of them has two processors on it. Each processor can run 40 gigabits a second, so it'll be plenty of capacity for whatever Strathclyde does. With the remote cups in particular, we could, for example, put a processing unit up into Orkney and allow high processing up in Orkney and get over the bandwidth challenged wide area network essentially. So it really does help optimize the backhaul bandwidth. And as we go and do enterprise use cases, it'll be possible to put these units independently into, for example, the 5G centres across Scotland that Paul Coffey is rolling out at the moment, and into different projects that Strathclyde do to enable them really. And what we've done with Strathclyde on this one, we have scaled down our remote cups platform, and actually Strathclyde are going to be just the collaboration that we've got with Strathclyde. They will be the first people, one of the first 2 sites in the world to run this very low footprint remote cups that we've been piloting as part of this project. The remote cups is a very powerful capability that Strathclyde will be well placed to adopt. We've talked about backhaul cost reduction. It allows deployment of user planes close to the user. Many of our service provider customers use this technology for mobile edge compute use cases, IoT type use cases, augmented and virtual reality applications and connected cars. And 5G Rural First, we piloted a very, very early use of this technology to allow us to have an autonomous tractor optimizing fertilizer spray across the field, minimizing the environmental impact. I guess quite appropriate that we talk about that with COP26 round the corner in Glasgow. So that's what we're doing with Strathclyde. It's been an absolute great experience to work with Strathclyde. We in Cisco have got a lot out of it. Hopefully Strathclyde, I think, have. And it's great to be working with the place of useful learning. So with that said, I'll hand it back to Bob, unless anyone's got any questions, and hopefully you're able to have heard what I was saying.